Welcome back to another episode here on the Eternal Sith Network, where you get all your Star Wars news every single day. Today we're going to be talking about a certain character in Season 3 of The Mandalorian that needs to appear to further explain this character. But before we do start that, remember hit the subscribe, like, and notification bell so you're always in the know on everything Star Wars. And once you're done watching this video, go check out my last one that I put out yesterday. Give it a thumbs up as you watch. Let's start the show. By many accounts, Book of Boba Fett, we know, didn't live up to the expectations and was nowhere near as good as The Mandalorian, and we know that, right? However, though, Book of Boba Fett isn't a bad character, and thus far should be further explored in properties of The Mandalorian, or have other, explore him in different realms, possibly put him in the Skeleton Crew, put him in anything, honestly, because I think that there could be a case made that the Book of Boba Fett series wasn't as successful as they thought it was going to be. I think that when it comes to these characters, they need to do a little bit more in focusing on, the lore, follow the comics, follow what the original character was and not change them up so much. Now, we know that since the Book of Boba Fett, again, wasn't so successful as they had hoped, there doesn't seem to be a season 2 on the way. But if Star Wars' Dave Filoni truly has planned out on not continuing the Book of Boba Fett, then again, feature him in other things, also along with Fennec, essentially, put him in amount of Disney projects that, they'd be relevant again, because it doesn't make sense to feature these two characters such as, again, Fennec and Boba, bringing them back and then kind of have no plan for them at all. Now, how Season 3 of The Mandalorian can help a Season 2 of the Book of Boba Fett is if Boba and Fennec show up in Mandalorian Season 3, and it can help promote the interest of what the Book of Boba Season 2 can possibly be. Now, much like Din and Grogu were heavily featured in the Book of Boba Fett in Episode 5, The Mandalorian can do something similar for Boba Fett. The Boba Fett episode focused mainly on Din and set up why he needed to visit Mandalore to reclaim his Mandalorian title. Now, The Mandalorian Season 3 can help set up Book of Boba Fett with a similar, enticing storyline. When The Mandalorian returns for Season 3, featuring Boba Fett and Fennec, it should be considered essential for the continuation of their story. To do right by these characters, The Mandalorian can either wrap up their stories or set up new stories for future seasons of the Book of Boba Fett. The Mandalorian Season 3 trailer features the return of Star Wars' Bo-Katan, but there's been no sign of Boba Fett or Fennec. Hopefully, these characters will return for Season 3 of The Mandalorian, and if not, for another season of the Book of Boba Fett. Now, we know that Boba, his father, was from Mandalore, and it could set up a potential where maybe Boba Fett wants to throw, his hat into them, or a helmet, shall I say, into the mix of things and wanting to claim, a throne in Mandalore and follow his roots. And it could be something where he wants to go for the dark saber as well too. And how cool would that be? Because if you think about it, right, Tamora Morrison has talked about possibly returning as Boba Fett, but doing it the old school as Jeremy Bullock's version, following the comic book and the books. And that would hit a note for the fans in the community. I know very, very well, as everybody's thriving. Everybody wants to see this Boba Fett come back and be harder and stronger and, be a lot more forceful and taking charge and not letting Fennec really lead the way, as that's kind of like what you saw in the Book of Boba Fett. And, again, I love her character, but I think we need to focus on the Boba Fett a little bit more, vintage Boba Fett, shall I say. So again, Season 3 could really set that up for Boba Fett to come, even if you don't feature or mention Fennec, even though I can't see the two of them not being together. But if Season 3 can do that for Boba Fett, I think would be very key, and it would be very important to see this and going forward to set up for future projects for Boba Fett and other characters as well. We know we're going to get a lot of cameos. We might even see, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Skeleton Crew and they're making their way into the mix, as we know that The Mandalorian has hosted many cameos, and that's where they got their start, and then they got their own series. But we do know that the Skeleton Crew is having their own series regardless, so we probably won't even get them, but that's just another one to throw into the mix. But guys, comment down below, would you want to see Boba Fett featured in Season 3 of The Mandalorian with Fennec? Does it make sense to you? Comment down below. Let me know what you think about today's video, and let me know your thoughts, your theories. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Remember, hit that subscribe, like, and notification bell so you're always in the know on everything Star Wars here on the Eternal Sith Network, as I have another video out tomorrow. And remember, the Eternal Sith. Then, now, forever. Later, guys.